What's up guys, how is it going? Today could be one of the most random titles that we've ever reacted to. The NFL's secret plan for if all the players die. Now, I don't really know where this video is going, but we're going to find out. We're going to react to it. If you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in the NFL, we've been playing the Madden game recently live on stream, which anyone can watch the stream. If you do want to watch the replays of those, become a member of the channel. Dead easy to do. Just click join down below and you can watch all of those streams back whenever you feel like you want to. Now let's dive into this.
Here's a fun fact. Professional sports teams play about half of their games at places that aren't their home stadium, meaning they have to travel to play the opposing team, usually by plane. Here's another fun fact. If a plane suffers a serious malfunction while flying, it can crash into the ground, killing everyone aboard. And here's a third fun fact.
You know what? Actually thinking about this, this actually happened to my team in England, Manchester United, 1958, the Busby Babes. Rest in peace. This happened to them in Munich. They were flying to Germany for an away game. Not the whole team died. Some of them survived who came to become legends, but the vast majority of the team died. Super sad, man. And they relied on the friendliness of other clubs to help them out basically in that time because there was no plan for that. Sorry.
Most sports leagues are aware of Fun Facts 1 and 2 and thus have quietly created detailed contingency plans for what to do if all their players are killed. The NFL has one, the NBA has one, the NHL has one, even the MLS has one, and they don't even have a plan for getting people to watch their games.
That was so unnecessary. People watch Inter Miami now, people watch them. I'm not sure about everyone else, but Inter Miami are doing bits.
You see, back in the late 1950s and 60s, plane travel was becoming increasingly popular, which meant that sports teams dying in plane crashes was also becoming increasingly popular.
I think this is the Busby Babes.
Members of the Manchester United sports team died in a plane crash in 1958. California Polytechnic University lost 16 of the other kind of football players in a plane crash in 1960, and the entire US figure skating team died in a fatal plane crash in 1961, all of which happened without a contingency plan to help the teams rebuild.
Oh, within a few years
These days, the figure skating team separates their A and B teams when traveling to competitions, and they aren't the only ones who have developed contingencies for potential shakes on a plane. Corporate America is acutely aware of how their entire C-suite dying in a plane might tank their market cap. Back in 1989, a Trump Organization helicopter crashed and killed 3 C-suite executives, which is part of why these days, 84% of companies have some kind of policy limiting how many executives are allowed to travel together. Coca-Cola, for example, doesn't let the 2 people who know the secret formula travel together, and another corporation—
No way, that can't be true. That's a myth. That's a myth. I'm not buying that one. They don't let the 2 people who know the secret formula travel together. Come on, surely not. Surely not.
Coca-Cola, for example, doesn't let the 2 people who know the secret formula travel together, and another corporation, the US government, by practice, never allows the president and vice president to travel together, even though neither of them know anything about soda.
Is that true? I never knew that either. I wonder if England do that same thing. It's weird, these contingency plans that you don't even think about, but someone has to think about it, don't they? Because otherwise it could all go horribly wrong.
But back to another
No more
corporation.
Coca-Cola?
Sports.
Imagine.
While most professional sports teams do allow their whole teams to travel together, the leagues are extensively prepared for what to do if they also die together. Let's start the same way many brain injuries start, with the NFL, which actually has 2 disaster contingency plans depending on how severe the situation.
This guy's low-key funny. Sorry for all the pauses, but it is what it is, guys. It's a reaction channel.
Injury starts, with the NFL, which actually has 2 disaster contingency plans depending on how severe the situation is. If fewer than 15 players die, it's only a near disaster, terminology that I'm sure the families of the fewer than 15 NFL players would totally love. In this scenario, the team—
Sorry. Just imagine the news report. Breaking news, we've had a near disaster in the NFL. 15 players have died. Just a near disaster. Oh yeah. Imagine explaining that one.
I'm sure the families of the fewer than 15 dead NFL players would totally love. In this scenario, the team would be required to play out the rest of the regular season, but would get preference on claiming free agents. And if the quarterback specifically happened to be incapacitated, the team could draft 2 quarterbacks from any team they wanted to, which is why the Texans have seriously considered flying David Mills everywhere on Boeing 737 Maxes. Yeah,
this guy is wild. Whoever's making this YouTube channel, I can't remember the name of it, but
I just googled who is the worst quarterback. I have no idea who that is.
This guy's
if 15
wild.
or more players died, the NFL's disaster plan would kick in. The NFL's commissioner, currently the world's most advanced humanoid robot, Roger Goodell, would decide whether the team could finish playing out the season. If he decided they could, they'd revert to the near-disaster protocol, but if he decided they couldn't, he'd create what's called an off-season disaster draft, with the team granted 32 players to pick from other non-dead teams, plus the official draft's #1 pick. So, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost Tom Brady to a freak facelift mishap, Goodell could allow the Buccaneers to draft a quarterback since it qualified within the NFL's near-disaster protocol. But if everyone aside from Brady experienced a facelift mishap, then Goodell could either allow Brady to play by himself for the rest of the season, which might be in the Buccaneers' best interest, or draft a new team. And if you're not a football fan, don't worry, your league of choice likely also has a plan for how to keep the ticket sales churning in the face of unspeakable human tragedy. In the event that at least 5 players die or are dismembered, the National Basketball Association would also start a disaster draft and would force its non-dismembered teams to give up their 6th players for it. Similarly, the National Hockey League allows teams...
How good of a team do you reckon you could make from the NBA 6 men? It wouldn't be enough to win anything, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be 6 men, but you could probably make a pretty good team out of the 6 men, but you'd still be struggling, right? You would still be struggling. You're just filling a team up with role players.
With 5 or more incapacitated players to draft players from other teams who'd be paid by the league's rainy day fund if on that particular day it had been raining NHL players. And representing the sports...
This guy is wild, man. Absolutely wild. We'll find out his name
your dad
after.
falls asleep watching.
It's
Major
down
League
here.
Baseball's plan works similarly
Half
to
as
the
interesting.
NFL's.
Go and subscribe
According
to
to
them.
Rule
This guy's
29 of
wild.
their super secret playbook, the league commissioner decides whether a team can play or not after losing 5 or more members to death, dismemberment, disability, or suspension. The season is either canceled, or they could select 1 player from each MLB team up to the number of players they lost. All the league's teams would make a pitcher, catcher, outfielder, and infielder available, along with a player of any position. Short fielder, home baseman, power forward, I don't know baseball positions, okay? No US leagues have had to implement their disaster plans, but believe it or not, the world includes places that are not the US. In 2011,
Really?
Eurasia's Continental Hockey League lost all but 1 of its Lokomotiv Yaroslavl team members in a plane crash, one of its top hockey teams. Afterwards, the KHL scrambled to create a disaster draft and pulled 3 players from all the other teams to replace Lokomotiv Yaroslavl. The moral of the story is, it's bad if people die, but it's even worse if those people's deaths mean that you can't watch people wearing the dead people's old uniforms, putting a ball and or puck into a net and or hoop and or goal. Now, replacing an entire dead sports team as a...
This guy, man, this guy just doesn't care. I mean, we should be laughing through these topics, but this guy's making it funny. I really respect this YouTube channel, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to subscribe to him for sure after this. I'm going to be reacting to more of his videos.
Now, replacing an entire dead sports team is a difficult problem to solve, and difficult problems don't always have conventional solutions. Whether your problems are big or small, critical thinking and problem solving are life skills that we could all stand to develop a little more. And what better place to develop those skills than with our sponsor, Brilliant.
Brilliant. He's hit us with a sponsor. Is that how the video's going to end, or have we got any more after it? I think that's how the video's going to end. I think it is. It is. Okay, there we have it. This is very interesting. It doesn't seem like anything's happened since the 60s in England or America. Obviously, he mentioned that other KHL, was it? KHL team, where it's happened there, and they did a bit of a disaster draft. I was going to say it'd be interesting if it did happen. Obviously, we don't want it to happen. Touch wood. Touch wood. It doesn't happen to any teams, but it is interesting to know there's a contingency plan there. And it would be very interesting to see. Maybe we'd do it for a video. What sort of NBA team could you put together from 6th men? Because I reckon you get a pretty solid team. Pretty solid team. Anyway, we're going to react to this guy in the future. Let me drop his name again. It is half as interesting. We'll subscribe to you right now, buddy. Make sure you go and check out his channel. The link is always in the description. Make sure you subscribe to me, guys. There's like 70% of people watching these videos not subscribed, so please do click the subscribe. Become a member if you want to check out the gaming stuff, and I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.